If you want a Toyota hybrid that'll carry you, some people, and some stuff, you do have quite a few options. But if you want to get a little bit extra highway fuel economy, theoretically speaking, you're going to want something lower than something like that RAV4 right there. Now, the Crown Signia might just be the ticket. But does this lower stance and smoother shape lead to better highway fuel economy than something like a standard compact crossover? Tonight we find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2025 Toyota Crown Signia. In this test, I'm going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour, to get a realistic fuel economy number for this new wagon. Well, before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. I'm pretty interested about this one because we have tested the Toyota RAV4, and we've tested the RAV4 Hybrid, and we've tested the normal Crown Sedan. But this Crown Signia seems to be a happy marrying between all of those different options. Coming with, admittedly, some black plastic cladding, not body color. I think it would look really cool if it would have body color, but then it wouldn't look like it's lifted as much. But a nice hatchback design that isn't too sloped off, it's decently practical, some flush mount roof rails. There's a lot to like about the Crown, so if you do want to see more on it, check the link below. We've got our full pros and cons review and a dedicated breakdown of the JBL audio system. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this Crown Signia 37 miles per gallon, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know there are plenty of people who do higher speeds than that, steady state on the highway, and would like to know what sort of numbers you can realistically expect here in the real world. So in order to test that out, we're going to go to the gas station tonight when traffic has died down. I'm going to fill this up, go out and do 100 miles, come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method, and get a result. Now, a few things to note for tonight. Outside temperature will probably be about mid to low 60s Fahrenheit. We're going to have our tire pressure set to their door placard 33 psi cold, and I'm going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. So I'm pretty curious about this one. Also, another quick shout out to the owner of that Infiniti M45 right there. First gen, very clean. I'm going to try to get a hold of that person sometime. Yeah, I'm excited about this one because hybrids oftentimes don't do as well on highway tests as they do with lower speeds, and it's not because of the regen, it's just because of lower speeds. But I'm curious to see if this one will at least meet its EPA figure, because 37 in a car this size would be pretty good. So without any further yapping, let's head to the test. We are all fueled up, put in 1.238 gallons for our initial fill. Before we start the powertrain, we're going to reset the vehicle's trip computer. Clear this out. Okay, that is reset. Climate control 73 auto. And we're ready to begin. Now, we do have a few different drive modes here in the Crown. We've got individual, right? Custom, sport, normal, and eco. We're going to be doing this test in eco. And we're going to take it nice and easy over to the highway. It's about half a mile away, and pick up the test from there. Now, the goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy for the car, but rather a realistic figure. So in order to do that, I'm getting up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace, and I'm going to set the cruise control to a GPS indicated 71 miles per hour. That should allow us to average 70 over the whole test. Getting up to speed, I do still have our panoramic sunroof shade open, so it's a little bit louder, but still fairly refined on this concrete section of highway. Maybe a little bit more road noise than I would like, but like I said, it's so hard to judge when you're on concrete. Definitely hear that engine when you're getting up to speed, and then it calms right down pretty much as soon as you get below that power eco delineation. Speedometer seems to be quite on the money, if actually a little bit high. 71 on the dash, giving us about 71 on the GPS. I think we'll settle in there and then see how that's doing for us throughout the test. Cruise control unavailable. See owner's manual. Why? Oh, there we go. I always think this should be set, but that's the set button. There is technically no set on these newer Toyotas. Okay, we've got a pretty competent active lane keeping system. You can see it's taken us nicely through this turn. So, provided it doesn't give us any annoyances, it should be nice to have over the test. We're going to continue on and catch with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the Crown Signia Limited. According to the vehicle's trip readout, we're looking smack dab, actually slightly above the EPA. 37.5 would technically get the mathematical round up to 38 miles per gallon. This is a good place to be on the highway. I have no qualms. The active lane keeping, technically lane tracing, I think Toyota calls it, works quite well. Actually pretty darn impressed with the JBL sound system. Just got done doing a lot of members only tracks and I was jamming out. Seat comfort's good, interior comfort's good, noise is where it should be, ride fine, would be better with a little bit more sidewall. What else? No tack shot for us here because even in sport mode you don't get a tachometer, so nothing for right lane hog to comment on there. Yeah, I mean it's no surprises, but that's a good thing in this case. Oh, I do have one qualm, and it is that changing the brightness of the screens is a multi-step process. To change this screen up here, very straightforward. There's physical controls on the left side, you reach up and touch them. Easy, that's how it should all be. But for the center screen, you gotta get back to home, so one click there, and then if you weren't on the settings screen, that's the second click, 2, scroll down, 3, click display, and then adjust your brightness settings. Frustrating, especially if the brightness is too high or too low, you're driving around and having to tap all those buttons. And I don't know about you guys, but I am one who, okay, when the light's starting to get dim, the sun's starting to go down, I want my brightness all the way up for night mode because it's still kind of bright outside, so I need to see. And then as it gets going darker, or maybe as I get out of a city center, get more into rural roads, less light pollution, then I want my screens to be dimmer. So I was adjusting the brightness a few different times throughout this drive. That's a little frustrating. So we're gonna get the car back, we're gonna fill it on up and get our final results and crunch them with you in the morning. We are back and all fueled up the next day. We ended up putting in 2.712 gallons into the Crown Signia's tank. So 100.3 miles traveled divided by that 2.712. It's giving us, okay, a little bit lower than the trip readout, but still rounding out to the same. And the same as the EPA number, 37 miles per gallon here for the Crown Signia. And you know what? That's not too terrible of a figure. That's 2 miles per gallon lower than we got in the normal Crown sedan, but I would happily sacrifice a little bit of fuel economy in exchange for Wagon looks and Wagon practicality. We're still working with the 14.5 gallon fuel tank, so 14.5 gallons times that 37 miles per gallon is giving you a healthy 530 miles of highway cruising range here in the Crown Signia. Now, like I said, that's a little bit lower than the Crown sedan and a little bit lower than you're likely to see in a RAV4 hybrid. We haven't gotten, actually surprisingly, have not had a clean RAV4 hybrid fuel economy run. The one we tried with the Woodland edition a few years ago got interrupted by traffic. And there's a new RAV4 coming out, so we'll have to test that. I bet you that's going to see similar, if not slightly better numbers than this. But this powertrain's a little bit more refined, a little bit more powerful. So I think there's plenty of reason to go with the Crown. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on this fairly cool car, check the link below. We got our full review and that JBL sound test. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.